My name's Jay, and I'll be reading One Small Lost Sheep by Claudia Mills. A long time ago, on a starlit night, a little shepherd boy named Benjamin was out in the windy hills over Bethlehem searching for one small lost sheep. The rest of his father's sheep were huddled safely together near the other sheep, watched over by the other shepherds. But Benjamin's own best loved lamb, lame from birth, had strayed from the flock. Benjamin scrambled all over the rocky hillside, calling her name, Kibsa. Brambles tore at Benjamin's bare knees, but he kept on climbing. Kibsa! He thought he saw some white wool up ahead and hurried towards it, but it was only a piece of rough woven cloth dropped by some passing shepherds. Where could Kibsa be? So many dangers could befall a small sheep all alone at night. The rocks were slippery and jagged. Even a sheep who wasn't lame might stumble. Hungry wolves lay in wait, and a large hawk might attack a lone sheep, helpless and unprotected. Benjamin struggled not to cry. He had taken care of Kibsa since her birth. As a sickly newborn, she had sucked on his fingers, dipped in milk. Even from then on, she had followed him everywhere, limping behind him almost as quickly as if her crooked hind leg had been strong and straight. At night, she'd slept curled up next to him so that he felt her warmth through his tunic. Benjamin pressed on, hardly knowing where to look. His legs were scratched and bleeding from the thorns. In the sky above, one star shone brighter than the rest, but its light didn't lead him to Kibsa. Kib, Benjamin called once more, and then he dropped onto the nearest rock and wrapped his arms around his knees, and he cried until he fell asleep. When Benjamin awoke, the night seemed different somehow. The sky was oddly lit, yet Benjamin sensed that dawn was still far away. He rose and began to trudge back to his family. Maybe Kibsa found her way there by now. When he finally reached the shepherds, one glance told him, no, Kibsa had not returned. Benjamin, his older brother David, came running to meet him. Did you see it? Kibsa? I couldn't find her. No, the stars and the sky. It opened up, and there were angels singing the most beautiful song. Benjamin stared at his brother. He had never seen David so excited. Bewildered, he shook his head. I fell asleep. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. A whole chorus of angels singing just to us. I can't believe you missed it, David said. Well, I did, Benjamin said crossly. It seemed so unfair to have lost Kibsa, and then he slept through such wonderment. The others had crowded around Benjamin, telling the same astonishing story that David had told. Benjamin interrupted them. You haven't seen Kibsa, have you? But no one listened. No one but Benjamin seemed to care about one small lost sheep. The angels brought news that a king was born. Benjamin's father told him, just now, in Bethlehem, a king in our own village. We must go and see him at once, a man called out. More voices took up the cry. We must go and see the new king. The shepherds began heading down the hillside, roused their sleeping sheep to follow. Benjamin let the crowd carry him along, but as he went, he strained his eyes for a glimpse of Kibsa. When they reached Bethlehem, the shepherds stopped, as if uncertain where to go. The angels said we would find the king in a stable, Benjamin's father said. But which one? There are so many stables in Bethlehem. He sounded almost angry. Suddenly, Benjamin's heart clenched like a fist. From the distance, he heard the bleat of a young sheep. Could it be Kibsa? Benjamin pushed past the others and ran ahead, down the dark street, lit by the strangely bright star. He heard a second soft baa, turned the corner, and then saw her, not 10 feet away, in a broken down stable. Kibsa stood next to a wooden manger that seemed to glow, as if all the stars of heaven had given their light. Beside her stood other animals. Benjamin recognized them from his village. Isaiah's blind ox, his massive, sightless head was bent low. A half-starved donkey, beaten and neglected by his master. An old goat, stooped with age, missing one ear. Benjamin drew close to Kibsa. His throat was thick with tears of joy. Then he saw the newborn baby lying on the manger, warmed by the breath of the animals gathered around it. Behind the manger, he saw a man and a woman too. They smiled at Benjamin, a gentle, welcoming smile. Wordlessly, Benjamin dropped to his knees. He knew without any angels to tell him that this was the newborn king. Then the other shepherds were behind him, kneeling too. Kibsa crept beneath the folds of Benjamin's cloak. She lay quietly, her breast soft and warm against his chest. Benjamin could hear the angels now, but this time they were singing in his heart.